As songwriters, in a lot of ways, we are ambassadors. We're being entrusted with writing the songs for our house specifically. And I think that it is so important to, as part of that being entrusted, as part of that responsibility, to have open ears and an open heart and just kind of lean in at all times when our pastor is speaking. When staff meetings are happening, you don't really take off that sort of responsibility of you don't take off that hat of being a songwriter in the house, because you bear that posture of really being an ambassador or representative. You're representing the house that you come from and what God is doing in that house when you are a songwriter. And so it's so important to be aligned with the heart of our pastor, to be aligned with what God is doing in our church. We trust that our pastors and our leaders hear from God, and I know I discern that. I feel that in my spirit. This is what God is doing, and we can trust their leadership and the fact that they hear from God, and therefore we lean in and we say, God, what are you saying? What are you doing? We want to write the songs. We want to say the things about you that need to be declared and said in this season. And that's part of our responsibility, is that sense of, I'm a representative. I'm writing the songs that need to be written for this house, and therefore I'm going to listen for what God's saying through my pastor, through my worship pastor, at staff meetings, at team nights, you name it. Just always having that antenna up. God, what are you saying? What are you doing? What words do we need to say about you during this time?
I feel like songwriting is a way for me to get into a space of intimacy with Jesus, and it's a lot of times tethered to my devotional time. And I think of Zephaniah 3:17, where it talks about the Lord singing over us. Like, I feel like a lot of songs are written that no one will ever hear, and that's because maybe they were just for, time with Jesus. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes God graces certain songs to be heard. But a lot of times I just enjoy it being an avenue for intimacy with Jesus and devotion. Yeah. Devotional time with Jesus.
I really resonate that, and it's almost like sometimes it's almost like journaling prayers to God, and sometimes what I butt up against sometimes is that sometimes they're not always necessarily singable for a group of people or for a church to sing. They're not, but they're words that God wants to hear from my heart, and and that God wants to hear our song to Him in the form of prayer or of song or however that will look. But I do love the opportunity that we get to put words to things that God is speaking to our church in a certain season, to things that we're all experiencing together. And I love the opportunity that He gives us to be expectant to receive a fresh word from Him.
Sometimes I think we define the prize as the congregation singing your song. And what I'm hearing all four of you say, and I think even starting with you, Timmery, like, I know you well enough to know that your songwriting is just how you worship. I mean, it's a free flow, it's an overflow, it's a singing your prayer, it's singing your lament, it's singing your anger, it's singing your confusion, it's singing your praise and your victory. And I guess, I'm just endlessly proud to belong to people who know what the real prize is, and the real prize is communion with God, right? And what a joy it is when others latch on to our song or whatever, but you guys really get that.